if you want to, I'm happy to.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Okay.
Okay. So we start at the very first process. There's 8 steps to Zentangle, and Zentangle was invented by 2 Americans, a guy called Rick Roberts and a lady called Maria Thomas. And Rick was a meditator, so he was all into meditation, and Maria was the artist, and together they have formed this art form. And it isn't the same. People quite often, when they say, if I just show you, because this is the picture I gave of the Zentangle tile that we were going to do today. And
Yeah.
it'll be something like this. It won't be exactly the same because no tangle, when you create a tile, no tile is ever the same as one that you've done before. It's a
Yeah.
bit like if you were painting a picture and you painted a picture of an owl, you could paint 10 owls and not one of them would look the same.
Yeah.
So this is the same idea. So although this is just an indication of the style of the tile that we will create today.
Oh,
And when you create these little shapes, they are called tangles. So the kind of verb in that is to tangle. So we don't say to zentangle, we say to tangle. And so we create tangles on a tile. And each of these tangles has like a step out, we call it. So if I just show you what a step out looks like. So each tangle has a set of steps that you use to create the different shapes and the different patterns.
yeah.
And so there's thousands of these, and you can, download loads of these off the internet. There's many, many different tangles, and people are creating tangles every day. And so there is a whole encyclopedia of tangles, and you can go on and just download these little step out patterns and then start, because tangling is basically, if you can write the alphabet, because tangling, all tangles are based around I, C, S, and O. And if you can write I, C, S, and O, then you can create any of these tangles, because they're just lines that have been, you can see there's little C's in here, there's O's,
Yeah.
and so basically, if you can write those letters, you can create this art form. And it's been made simple so anybody can do it. That's really why it is so simple. And it's built up of steps so that anybody can, can basically just take a little time out of their day and create a little art tile. And usually, obviously, this is going to take a little bit more time today because it's quite involved. But normally you can do a tile in about 30 minutes. If you just sit down, and if you were only doing a mono tangle where you're just doing the same tangle
Mm.
over and over again on a tile, you could probably do that within 15 minutes. So it's just you giving yourself a little window of time that you can just focus on nothing else but doing this art. And so it's a meditative art form, and people might say that it's like doodling, but the difference is, with doodling, you aren't focused. You can sit on the phone and talk to somebody, and you could fill a whole margin with little doodles, and you probably don't even realize that you're doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas with Zentangle, you are actually very focused. You are concentrating on each of the lines that you are making on this tile. So it is a focused art form. So every line that you make, you are doing it with an intention and you are focused. So that's the difference. Although there are lots of people on the internet that call it Zen Doodle, and they create lots of little, shapes and little tangles and things. So, but it's just the traditional Zentangle is not doodling. So I just have to say that because as part of the teaching. And there's 8 steps. So we start by we'll get comfortable and we'll do a little meditation, just a breathing exercise. And then we will start on our tile, and we start with 4 dots, and then we join up dots to make a border, and then we create a string. And strings can be anything. So if I just show you on, if you had your tile, a string can just be a squiggle across the page. Our string will be a circle because our tangle is going to be based around this, creating a wreath. But a string can be any shape. It can be a squiggle. You could just have a line going down the center, or just breaking your page up. And it's just a pencil line, and it's a guide that you can then tangle along and create your little tile. So, and when you do strings and we tangle, actually, I should just show you a couple of examples in my little just to show you how clear a string can be. So on here, we've got a diagonal string, really, where we've kind of cut the paper into an X. And you can kind of see how I haven't kept exactly to the string, but you can see how the string creates a shape on the finished tile. So even though I would have just done an X on my original tile, you can just see how you can create the art around that string. So just language that comes with the art form. And then obviously I've just talked about the tangle. And then we add contrast. So we add shade just using pencils. So I have got a pencil here. I'll just show you. When we're adding shade, we put our pencil on the side. So we'll come along and add shade just by, rather than adding, if I wanted to shade this line, I wouldn't come in and do a heavy line underneath like this, which, because it would be seen, I would come in and do a little on the side. It's a lot softer. And then I'm just going to show you, because if you've got an earbud, then we would just blend that out. Just blend it out. So with my earbud, I can just blend. Whereas if I tried to blend this heavy line that I've done, it's going to leave a very heavy mark. So just a few little pointers. And then obviously with a tortillon, again, this is just a paper roll. That's what I'll be using. It allows you to blend out a little bit more than the cotton bud, but the cotton bud is absolutely fine. You can actually just use your finger as well. If you've got neither of these, you can just use your finger to softly blend out. So that's shading. And they don't really talk about shade as in how we would in terms of artists talk about shade. In Zentangle, shade is all about just bringing contrast and dimension. So it's taking that black and white that we've started with and adding a little bit of grey to create a 3-dimensional art form. So it's really just light and dark that we talk about rather than actual shade, as you may have known if you've been an artist for a long time. And then we just initial it, sign it, and we will then, at the very end, we will appreciate the art by going around each of us and sharing our finished tile. Because even though we are all doing the same tangles, our little tiles will look different because obviously we bring our own flair to the artwork. And so it'll be surprising how different each one looks. So I am going to just practice some of the tangles that we are going to use today, because obviously I've done these tangles before, but this will be your first time. So I'd like to just start by sharing some with you, and so that you can have a little play and get a feel for how we do these tangles. So the first one I'm going to share with you is this little one here, which is called Poke root. So each of the tangles has a name. So it's poke, root, like that. And it basically starts with 2 lines. And then we do a little smiley face. And then we will bring our pen up and out. So like this. And how you can do it with a straight line. And you can just make it more rounded. Like that. And then we can even add some texture by giving it some little dots. So I could give some little dots on the side.
Are we to be
And
doing this along with you, Pauline?
yeah, everybody should be doing a sorry along with me. This is a
Oh,
practice.
okay.
Yeah, this is a little opportunity to practice some of the shapes that we're going to be doing. Because as I just said, I've obviously done these lots of times, but this is your first time. So
Yeah.
it'd be a bit unfair for me to say, right, let's just get into it. Um, and then with this, we can add, the shade is done at the very end, but I'm just going to show how you can add some shade to this. And then also we can have a little bit of shade down on the side. And it's always worth holding, when I create a tile, we always sort of look at it at arm's length, because it's like it's going to be sitting on a mantelpiece or something. So when we've got it here, we're right in it. But if you every now and again just hold it away from you, you can kind of appreciate how the tile is building up and how it's being created. And again, just on the side here, I could just add a little bit of shade on just one side. As I say, it's all about just creating, and then we can even just add a little bit around it. It's all about just creating depth. So it's a bit different. And because the tile can be looked at in all 4 directions, you can't really do, when we're doing, that's why I say it's not really shade, it's adding light and contrast, because you are able to look at it at every direction. So it's not like you can say, oh, the light's coming from here, so I'll shade all this way, or the light's coming from. So it's just about adding contrast. So that's poke root. So that's one of the tangles that we'll be using today. And another one that we'll use is a little blackberry shape, basically. It's called, they've all got strange names. It's called Bronx Cheer. And it's just like a little blackberry. So we just start by doing circles. And just kind of building them up.
What line are you using? Is it a 0.5?
No, mine's a 3. But I'll probably go to a smaller one when I start doing. But mine's a 3, so it's quite a thick one. But it's easier for me to show with this, with you using the heavier one. And then I would color in, and just we're going to leave a little sparkle. So we're just going to leave an area where there's no coloring, so that it looks like there's light glinting off it. So we'll just do a little, leaving a little bit of light. So coloring in, but just a little bit that's left white. And it's kind of just creating a little berry shape. Okay, and then you can just add a little stalk on that. Is everybody okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, good. And then we can create flowers and leaves in different ways, and we'll be creating different shapes for that. And the main sort of focal point with our lovely sort of flower, our gem that we've created in the center here, we've just added leaves by creating like a slightly teardroppy shape, I suppose. It just comes down, and then we've just added texture to that and auras, and then we've given it little eyelashes. So just little texture with little eyelashes, I call them, by just doing little fine lines. So they're just, you're hardly touching the paper. You're just kind of swooping and creating a very, very fine textured line. So it's just practice out of just swooping your pen across the page and creating a fine line. And you can do them heavy or you can do them really, really light. And it just adds, when we're doing foliage, it adds some, just as I say, it's texture. And then with flowers, we can create flowers simply just by doing an X and then doing some little petals. Just like that. And they can be, you can do like curved X's as well. They don't have to be straight lines. So then you're getting more shape to it. Just so you can add your flair. This is where your flair will come in when you're doing your lines and things, just by creating different, shapes, and that's how they will look different. And there's a tangle called Flux, and this I love this one. So we have a line, and we just do little teardrops. So a little kind of. And the one thing that you'll learn about Zentangle is that you never draw over the top of a tangle. So if I have so if I look on here, so if I've got this little poke root and I wanted to draw another one behind, I would have it. So say I could have a little poke root coming off here, and then if I wanted to do another one, so if I had another one coming down here, and I imagine that it'll come to about here, then I could just have a little bit of it coming out at the back. But we never draw over the top of a tangle that we've already drawn. So that's one of the, I suppose, key things is when we're drawn, we'll always, so from here, where I've drawn a large flower, everything else is coming out from under it. And you are creating depth just by having things under things. But yeah, you never draw over the top. But I can talk about that as we go through the main tile. Okay, so
What was the what was the
yeah.
flower? The one that you were just doing. What was that called? The one with
Oh
the
yeah, sorry. That's called
no.
Betoner. Bitona, Bitona,
Sorry, what's Bitona? Which one's that?
the flower.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so you were just doing something else with a long line and teardrop.
The flux.
Oh, the flux. This one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Sorry, flux. And then again, we would add just little lines to this, and we can even add little dots. And you can curve your lines so that you can, whenever you're adding these lines, you can curve them so that it makes it look like they are actually, you know, that it again adds texture and shape. And then whenever we come in and add some pencil to this, and then blend it out, you're just getting depth there. So when we add the pencil, it does make a huge difference. And I was just going to say, if you were just using a standard HB, I haven't got my sharpener with me. I should have had a sharpener. You can still use a HB and just be very, very light with your touch. I can still blend that out. So this is just a standard HB pencil. As long as you use it on its side and you just very lightly, you're using a very, very light touch, you can still use that HB pencil to shade, because look how much blending out I'm getting just with that HB pencil. So don't worry if you don't have a 2B or a softer lead. You can still do it as long as you don't come in and, you know, add loads of pencil, because that's a lot harder to blend out and it will leave marks. We're always coming in with a very, very soft touch on the side with our shading. Okay, that's just so that we can really just blend it out, and there's no harsh lines. Okay. I'm not going to go through every single tangle, because when we're doing them, a lot of them are just lines, so or circles. So I don't think there's going to be too much of a difficulty with those. But I just wanted to share a few just so you could get a sort of idea of how they build up from just 2 lines, adding some more lines, and then you create these lovely little patterns. So is everybody ready to get going with the main tile? Is there any questions at all before we start?
Can I just ask you, sorry, I came in a bit late. What sizes are you working on?
So this is a 3.5 inch by 3.5 inch piece of card. It's smooth. I'm just using these artist tiles I just get them on Amazon. They're 300 GSM, and they're nice smooth surface, so they're good for blending, and especially when we're doing the shading. But if you've just got a jotter page or just a piece of copy paper, that is absolutely fine for today. But this is just letting you know what I normally use. So and there's quite a lot. You get 75 in there, and they're not. Well, it was a little while I bought them, but they were about £5. So I didn't think they were that expensive, or just under £5. Although every time I buy something and then I go in to buy it again, I'm finding that with Amazon, things are going up maybe £2 or £3 as we get closer to Christmas.
Yeah.
So I bought some sponge daubers. Sharon, you'll be pleased to know I did your lovely robin with a group of my elderly ladies last week, because I do social people that are socially isolated.
Yeah.
I do art with them, and we just meet in a local cafe and we just paint and stuff. But we did your robin, and I bought some daubers off Amazon.
Oh yeah.
And then I went to order some more, and I bought them. I think there were like 40 daubers for like £3 something.
Yeah.
And then when I went to buy them again, they were £7. £7,
Oh.
and it was only a month. It was literally 3 weeks between buying them from exactly the same person. And I thought, wow, that's inflation.
Yeah.
But it was lovely. It was, they thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so
Oh, good.
lovely.
Did
Yeah,
you take
so
any
yeah,
photos at all?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I took
send them in because
loads.
we'd love to see them.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay. Yeah, I will. Yeah, they were, it was amazing. I know I did mean to post because I was going to message you to let you know, but I completely forgot. It was only last week. I'm still catching up with myself. Right. Okay. So we're going to start with just a little breathing exercise just to get us into the zone. And if you think that you're going to be making noise, would you mind just muting yourself? Just because we're going to do a little meditation. So if you do think that there's going to be any background noise or anything, just please do mute. Okay, so just get comfortable in your seat where you are right now. And we're just going to take a deep breath in and just let that breath go. And we're just going to do that another time. Just take a deep breath in and just let it go. And now you're just going to let your breath settle in its own natural rhythm. You're just breathing in and breathing out. And all you have to focus on right now is your breath. Letting go of any worries, any tension, just setting them aside for now. And just bringing your focus to your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in, you're clearing space. And breathing out, you're letting go of any tension anywhere in your body. Breathing in, clearing space. Breathing out, letting go. And just letting go of any thoughts that are coming in. Just letting them float by like clouds. There's nothing that you need to be thinking of right now. Just focusing on your breath. And just bringing yourself to a space of calm. And just allowing this time for you to just create something beautiful. Okay, so we're just going to get started. So we start with our pencil. And we're going to just place a light dot in each corner. Okay, so I'm going to just do a little dot, but I'm going to do a little frame. So I'm going to just come along and do a very light pencil line. Just very lightly. And then I'm going to do my string, which is going to be an inner circle and an outer circle. So I'm going to just start by doing a small circle, like a donut is basically the shape that you're going to have. And I should really say orb, because when we say circle, we kind of can get a little bit, that it has to be perfect, but it definitely doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to just do mine a little bit heavier, but that's as light as you need yours. But I'm going to just do mine a little bit heavier so that you can see. So I'm going to just do, but if you can keep yours light. And then I'm going to just do an outer circle. So it kind of looks like a donut. Okay, and this is just our string to give us a guideline of where our wreath is really going to be. And I'm also going to do a circle for where the gemstone, this little flowery gemstone is, just so that when I get really into drawing the tile, I don't forget that I'm supposed to be leaving space. So I'm just going to do a little circle, probably about maybe on the side here. I'm just going to do a little circle here, just so I kind of remember that I'm going to do a little gem there. And then I'm going to take my pen, and I will just stick with the 3mm one. And I will start by doing my gemstone. So I'm going to do a circle. And then I'm going to draw some just very small orbs all the way around that circle. So just framing it with tiny circles. And I want you just to take your time and just breathe. Just breathe normally. And just focus on the mark that you are making on the tile right now. Just on that pen touching the paper, making that shape, and just breathing normally. And don't worry if their orbs are different sizes, and do feel free to move your tile around so that it's comfortable for you. You want to make it as easy as possible for you to make these marks. And every string that we make is only a guide. So it doesn't matter if we go over it, outside the lines, it's absolutely fine. And we're going to add some petals to this orb shape. So I'm going to just come up and create a petal shape. And I'm just going to work my way around, creating the shape. And don't worry if they're different. They don't have to be the same. And don't worry if you go off the edge. And you can curve them, you know, feel free to add some flair. But as I say, don't worry if they're going off the edge of the page, it's absolutely fine. And then we're just going to add a layer of petals behind. So I'm going to just come from in between the petals I've just drawn, and I'll add some second petals. So just filling in that little space as if there's some petals just coming out from behind. And again, some will just go off the edge of the tile, and that is absolutely fine. Okay, so that's our focal point really for our wreath. And we can add some auras, which are basically a second layer that just goes around the shape that we have just done. And auras can be inside a shape or they can be outside a shape. We're just going to add an aura inside our petals. So just so you're just going around that shape. I'll do that. Just gonna do a little aura on the outer petals as well. Just I'm just going to grab a finer pen just to do some little eyelashes because the three is a bit thick for doing those. So I'm going to go to not 5 1. So you can see that, could you? And I'm just going to do some little lines on these inside of the petals. So I'm just going to do the little eyelashes that we talked about. So just some very fine lines just sweeping outwards. You're hardly touching just very, oops, feathery. And then on the petals behind, we'll just do a little, like a little beaded line of orbs just coming down and in. So just a little tiny, tiny orbs just coming down into the bottom of the petal. And this is just adding what we call drama. It's just going to bring a little bit of texture. And Zentangle is an abstract art. So things may represent things, but they're not intentionally supposed to. So I know we're creating a flower here, but it's just because we're using different shapes to build that up. Okay, so I've got my little focal point now. And I'm going to create some little leaf shapes. So coming out from my flower, I'm just going to have some larger leaf shapes. So I will just come out from one of the petals and just kind of do something that looks like, I always think this kind of looks like a surfboard, this tangle that we're going to do reminds me. So it's just, or even an eye, isn't it? And then we'll put a line in the middle. And then we're going to do some lines that just basically go up and down. So we're going to go up like a triangle and then down. And don't worry that it's different on one side to the other. Absolutely fine. Up and down. And then we're just going to aura that. So I'm going to just do a up and down, up, down, up, and down. And we're going to just color in the line that we've created. And then I'm just going to do another one coming out behind it. So I'll just then we'll have the line and we'll stop when we get to the flower because as I say, we never draw over the top of a tangle that we've already drawn. So this tangle is called Braze, B-R-A-Z-E. But we will be writing all the tangle names down at the very end on the back of the tile. I'm just going to Aura. And then you might just see a little bit coming up there. And then again, just colouring in. And then I'm also going to have one that's just kind of peeking out. So below here, just bringing another one out. And then just one more just over this side, a smaller one. Okay. So just have a little one just down here at the bottom as well. So I can kind of work out bringing it round where that's going to come out. You just imagine if you were going behind where that would kind of pop out. I'll just curve that round. Just go over the areas where I've got little white bits there. Right. Is everybody okay? We all good?
Yes.
Good. So now I'm going to add the little orbs to kind of create, like we've got little Christmas decorations on here. And the orbs were basically just drawn a couple of circles or orbs, I call them, so you don't get, you don't feel you have to do a perfect circle. So we'll just do circle, do another one here, and then maybe a little one down here. So you might have one that's just kind of coming out from behind, just like decorations or just on our wreath. So we'll just have one that's kind of looking like it's tucked behind. And then we're going to draw some lines on the circle. And by drawing lines, we can get some shape. So we can kind of have lines that are going up and over like that. So like a little bridge, just so that it creates a shape, you know, makes it look more circular. And we'll do that on all of them. We're going to just create a little band on each of these and don't have them all, you know, going in the same way. Just kind of find a point and just do a little, like a little arched bridge. And you can have some that are thin and some that are wider. And then we're going to just do some patterns in each of these. So one, we can just have a little zigzag. And we'll just have very fine lines, or I'll get my thinner, working of very fine lines, just going around in that one. And one line will go horizontal, and then in the triangles we'll do vertical lines. And then we can just do a little aura line, top and bottom. And then in another one, we may just have straight lines. And just focus on doing those lines. And again, you could maybe just have an aura on the bottom of that one. And then in another, we could just have some little circles. See that going on around. And just fill in the gaps. And then another one could just be solid lines. So we can just fill in the space, and then we'll do some auras. Traditionally, Zentangle is black and white, but you can obviously create the tiles using gel pens and adding color or coloring it in afterwards. But the traditional tangle would be black and white. And then on this one, I might just do an aura and an aura, just creating lines. And I'm just going to do some of the little flowers now. So the flowers were just like a little X. So we can draw a little X. And it can be curved or straight. And then we'll do some petals, and just be aware that they may just bump into the little balls that you've just drawn. And so we want to make sure that it goes underneath. So I'll come around, and if I know that I'm going to bump in, I'll go underneath. So that one, that petal's gone underneath that little ball there. I'll do another one here. And then again, this one's going to go under. And you always turn the towel just so that it is comfortable for you to be drawn on. So wherever it feels most comfortable. And then I'm going to just do another one. And then I might just see that one coming out the top there. And I could actually have some underneath. So behind here, I could actually just have the idea that there's another one. So I could just have the cross shape there and just have the start. And if you feel that that would come out somewhere, you can have it coming out. But just to fill in that gap. You might actually see a little one coming out here just behind. Just draw the idea that there might be one just coming out underneath. And that one would be under there. And that one, yeah, we might just see it a little bit. And so you can just have a petal, you know, if you wanted to fill a space, you could just have a line coming out and then just fill that space with a little petal, just so that you can imagine that there might be others underneath. Just all happening, and just if you feel that you would have that petal coming out anywhere else in the space, just add it in. But we can just do one little line and then have a petal just to build up, to imagine that there's lots of these flowers all built up on top of each other. And then I'll do some of the little poke root, the little poke roots that we did at the start. So I'm just going to have them coming out from under the flowers. So 2 little lines, little smiley face, and then your shape of your little, it looks like a little cherry. So we'll just have a collection of these and we'll build them up. And they can be all sizes. So you can have little ones, you can have big ones. I could have one that is even just coming out this way. And I could have some that are just behind, that you're just seeing the bottom of. Just tucked in. And I'll have them just come maybe out in a different direction. And I'm gonna just behind, let's just see how that gone around. Where there's any little spaces, I'm just gonna go in and color just in behind. So just to create dark space just at the back of those. So just the little sort of spaces between the stalks. So just be very careful because it's very easy to color over your little poke root. But I'm just gonna define where the background of those are. And I'm not going to go over where I know that my edge here, I've still got the ring of my wreath, so I'll just keep that in mind, that there's a shape that's coming around. Just color in the background there. And now I'm going to do some of our little berries. So, and you can add some little berries, even where our little leaves are, we can actually come in. So I've got like a little space here. I could actually just do a little orb here and just color it in and leave a little sparkle. I'm just going to do a little circle there and just leave a little sparkle on that. And I could do one here as well, just on the edge of the wreath, just a little orb with a little sparkle. Pop another one just on there, just a little orb with a little, so it looks like a little berry, just. Okay, sorry, I'm twisting and twisting. And on here, I'm going to do some, a little bit of foliage and then some of the little Bronx cheer. So the foliage is basically, I'm going to do a line, just like that. And then I'm going to have some little lines just coming off. So I'll just show you what it looks like. So it's just a little line that goes up, out, and it's got a wide top, and then it comes in at the bottom. So we're going to go up, wide top, and then come back in. So we're just going to go out, wider top, and then it comes in at the bottom. And it's just creating something that looks like foliage. And we'll expand on this in a wee minute as well. So it's, I know it looks a bit spindly at the minute. And then you can have some that are going down as well. They're not all come in the same direction. They can be going down. And it can get a bit wider. Disappearing under your berries as well. And then we kind of fill in the spaces. So we're going to be coming from out where we've got gaps. So for example, here at the top, I could have a little bit that just is going to come out and then it'll come further out. So I'm going behind my others. So here I will come out and bump into the leaf that I've already done and then come behind it and just draw a little bit more. So here I can come out, down behind. So we're actually just filling in some gaps and extending out. And it's tricky. You've got to work out where do I want that leaf to come out? Do I want it to really extend? Do I want it just to just pop out a little bit, but that's that's where you bring your flower in. You can come right out. And go behind. But you're just building up the thickness of um the greenery, really, the foliage. And then I'm going to just do some little orbs on this. Just come in and just in certain places, just adding a little orb. Maybe on the top here, I'll just add a little orb. Maybe here. Maybe one just on the outside here. And then I'm going to just add some of those little berry. I'll just have some little berry, the little Bronx cheer berries just here, I think. Do one over here as well, just kind of peeking out. Add that little berry that I did there to it. Add another little poke right there. Yep. God, has a little stalk just coming out that way. And I'm gonna just add some little they're called fescues, which are little sort of botanical shapes. So they just kind of come out and they're like a little sort of filler. They just They're just like a little sprig. So if I show you here, they kind of come up and they've just got a little, like a little apostrophe really. And you can have them curled and they can have little doubles. Sorry, I won't come with there, just like this. Have them coming up like that. I'm just going to add a few just coming out. So to add a little bit of flair to the, so just have one like maybe coming out there. And just gonna maybe have it coming out. Just a little one coming out. I always try and have threes really, just because our brain prefers to have things in odd numbers, kind of aesthetics. It likes odd numbers rather than even. So I'd kind of just try and have, if I'm doing two, I'll add another one. But I kind of feel that I'm done in terms of adding stuff for the minute. I'm going to come in and add some texture now, and then I'll see where we go. So on my little poke roots, I am going to just do some little textured dots on them, just on one side. You can do them all over if you want. You know, you can just add some little textured dots. And you don't have to do it to all of them. You can just have some plain, some with texture. And on my little flowers as well, I'd like to just add just a little bit of the eyelashes just coming from the petals. So just, but only from the center, just I'm just going to have little, really, really short, just in that little center, but I'm just going to come out just, I suppose, like a little star, really, isn't it? So just at that very base of that petal, just have just one or two little strokes just coming out. So just gone oh, go that way, sorry. Just find all the ends of your little petals and just have some texture there. And underneath as well, just here. And now I'm gonna take my shading pencil and I'm gonna start by concentrating on our focal point. So this lovely big flower, I'm going to create the center bit to look pearly, like a pearl, like a pearl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around the outside of it, just with the flat of my pencil. So I'm keeping it very flat, but I'm going to go all around the edge, just laying that graphite down, just all around the outside. And then I'm going to come in with my Portolon. I've got a smaller one actually. And I'm just going to blend that. But I need to leave a white. I need to leave some white. So I'm just going to come in and pull it into the center, but be very aware that you want to leave some white in that centerpiece to kind of be the sparkle. So where there'll be light on it. Okay, so I'm leaving a large bit of it of white space, and then I'm going to come back around and add another layer, because you can always add the graphite, but once you put it down, if you go in too heavy to start, because we don't use erasers in Zentangle, we don't really come back in and take anything out. So we do everything just in layers. We just come in, add, then, blend, and then add more, and then blend, and then see where we're at, rather than coming in very heavy and sort of thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Although there are no mistakes. So just blending, and you're just building this to create dimension and hopefully creating a 3D shape. So I'm going to just come around now on one edge and really add more. So you're kind of looking for 3 shades of color when we're doing the contrast. So you want your darkest, sorry, darker level of pencil, so like a very dark gray, and then a lighter shade of gray, and then, the white. So, that's what you're kind of aiming for. And if you think that we've got like 1, 2, 3 of shades of light, and that out a little bit more. So I'm kind of just darkening down on one side a little bit more, because I really want to create the effect of that this is a pearl. And don't forget to hold it away as well. If you hold it away from yourself as well, you'll kind of build up. So I'm going to be dark, and then I'm going to come and blend it a little bit lighter, and then I'm going into that white space where we've got the kind of highlight. Okay, to create this gem, really, and make it look more dome-like. So it's nearly like half moon, like a crescent of darker color, just to create that shape. So it's like a crescent moon that you're creating here. And then that gives you that nice dome-like shape to kind of create that gem or little pearl. And just come around the edge. Just adding a little bit of dark around the edge, just to really make it stand out a little bit more. And this is our focal point, really. This is where, when you look at this, your eyes, sorry, I'm losing my voice, your eye is drawn here. But, so usually whenever I'm doing a tangle, I kind of set something as the focal area that where you're drawn to first, and then you kind of get pulled outwards to what else is going on in the tile. And I'm going to just, on each of my little flower petals, I'm just going to add a little bit of pencil. Again, just keeping it flat, just at the base of each of those petals, and I will pull that outwards. So we'll just add this. And then we will just blend that up just from that base, not too heavy. We're just going to pull a little bit out, really along your little eyelashes, to be fair. That would probably be the focal area for the pencil. So just pulling it outwards, leaving that white space, pulling it out. And then I'm also going to add a layer because you've got petals on top of petals. I'm going to come in and just add a layer of pencil also between each of these petals, because obviously I want to show that there is depth there and that there's something on top of something else. So I will just come in with my pencil and just add a little bit. And again, I'll blend that. Always using the edge of the pencil. You're not going in with it, as you normally hold it. We're just wanting to add a little bit of but the tips of those petals can be left light because they're popping out. And as always, just come in a second time and just add a little bit more just in that deep part where the petals are sort of all coming in. So you just want to add a little bit more just in that bottom area. Just again, as I say, you're getting your 3 shades of light. And this would be the darker area. And again, as well, around the outside of the flower, you can actually add a little bit of, just around where those little beaded bits are, just come around that. You can add a little bit just around the edge of that. And then again, I'm just going to blend that so it's not so heavy, but we're just differentiating between where the areas of the light and the dark are. And then on the petals that are overlapping on my braze tangle, again, I would come in and start to just add a little bit of pencil just where those petals are gonna create some darker areas because they're kind of overshadowing the braze. And then I'm gonna come along my center line of that leaf. I know you're kind of getting quite an angled shape with this braze because of the lines. I'm just going to come along and just add a little layer of shade along that middle. They kind of look quite angular just because of the style. As I say, it's an abstract art. And I'm going to just, again, because we've got leaves on top of leaves, I'm going to just, again, just on the edge of a leaf that's overlapping another, I will add a layer of pencil and then just blend that out. So this bigger leaf on the top is kind of again, another focal area, this lovely big leaf here. leaving a lot of it to be white because it's on top. And as you get further down, we'll just add a little bit more pencil. And again, just around the areas, as I say, where the flower leaves are coming over the top, we just want to create that depth because you want it to be layered. You want to show that there are layers going on here. This flower is on top of these leaves and these little poke roots are on top of this leaf. It's just adding some depth. So on our little jetties that these balls are called, they're called jetties. Again, there's some that are overlaying. So we can add a little pencil shade just to show that there's depth again. I'll just come in and the ones that are on top, you can just go along the lines that you've created and just add a little bit of pencil. But again, I want to have some light that's going to pop off the page as well. So I can just add a little layer of shade around where the different textures are. But I do want to have some of them still showing a little white glint. Because there's, you know, even though this one's underneath this one, there's a lot of that that's out. And then I love doing these little poke roots. On my poke root, I'm going to just shade down one side. So I'm just going to add a little bit of pencil. And if you're doing something like that, you can actually, if you've got a tortillon, you can actually take the pencil, the graphite off the pencil onto the tortillon and then come on to the page. You don't have to actually do the pencil directly onto your artwork. You can actually take that off the graphite pencil and add it. So I'm going to do one, I'm going to shade down one side and I'm also going to give a little bit of pencil into the groove. So just where I've done the textured side. And again, we've got layers going on here. So you are going to have to also come in and add a little bit of extra graphite for the layers. And this one's going to be very dark down here. So on this one here, it's underneath another one. So again, we're going to have different layers of gray. So this one down here in here is going to be very dark. And I'm just going to add a little bit of a smiley face into the groove as well. Just coming in with a little smiley face. But here there's going to be a little bit of pencil. And on this side as well, where this one's overshadowing that one, and this one as well. Just adding just a little pencil line, and again we'll come in where they're overlapping. You just want to add some extra pencil. And just in that little groovy bit as well, I'm going to just add a little bit of extra. It's going to be quite dark. And then this one. And as I say, you can always come in and add more just to create that depth. So there's definitely going to be darker down in here. And then on our little flowers, we'll just add shade in that center bit where we added the little star shape. We can just add a little bit of shade in there and we can pull that out. And again, where we're overlapping, where it's underneath, we can just come in and, so I'm just going to pull that outwards. Just pull it out and pull it out basically towards the shape that you've created. Because I mean, some of these leaves, if they're if you've made them sort of curved, then you're shade that way. So this one I'm going to kind of shade in a curved shape, and that one as well. So I'm going to do a U sort of shape. So it's kind of like when you're doing it, you know, shade along that line. We're not doing a straight line. We're curving it to match the shape that we've created on that petal. So give it a little curl. To just tie in with what you've done. And then again, we can add a little bit more shade where the overlapping petals are. Or if there's something that's, you know, like the little jetties are also hanging over the top of some of my flowers. So I'll just come in and make those a little bit darker. And then these ones inside here are going to be very dark. And this one under here as well, there's just going to be the little tip that's kind of sticking out. Excuse me. And then on my sort of foliage that I added here, I'm just going to go in the center of that. And I'm just going to add a layer in the center. I just bumped my camera again. Just in the center of that, really. Don't really need it anywhere else. I'm just noticing them a little bit. I think because I've got the wreath kind of goes around here, I'm just going to add a few little orbs in over here just to kind of balance, because my line kind of goes out here. So I'm just going to add a few little orbs just here to kind of bring it a little bit further out. I know, because I started in the corner, I haven't exactly got, it's more of a necklace than a circle. So as I say, it is what it is. And I'm not going to fret about it too much. I'm just going to build a few little more orbs in there, because I've kind of got this oval shape, and I'm just going to go with it. And I think I'm kind of happy with that. Oh, I've got a little leaf there that hasn't got anything on it. So I would suggest that you hold your little piece of artwork at arm's length, because that's kind of where we view it from. So if you hold it at arm's length, we're not finished yet. Sorry, Sharon, could you spotlight me again? We're not finished. Sorry, we've got just 2 more steps to do before we finish. Just hold it at arm's length and see if you're happy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add our initials somewhere on the tile. So that can just be, I think I'm actually going to, because of the way I've done this, I'm actually going to frame mine. So I'm going to, because I haven't done an exact circle, I'm actually going to, where my original frame was, I'm going to pull that out. So I'm going to just come along where I drew my frame, and I'm going to come down, and I'm going to actually frame it. So I'm going to just draw the line across. Actually, with fescue, you can just draw through them because I'm going to come along and then I'm going to come up like that. Yeah, that's I like how that's done. And I'm just going to do that again. I'm going to just double that. I'm going to come along, stop, and then come down. Just because I haven't done an exact circle, I just kind of think I'm going to just frame it like so. Like that. And there's just a little line there. Just turn that up. And then I'm just going to do 3 little dots here, like so. I'm just going to do little dots like that. And just do 3 little dots here. Oops. Okay. So now I'm going to initial. So I'm just going to add a little PB down at the bottom. You can put it wherever you like, but this is your little piece of artwork. So just pop some little your initials in. And then I'm going to turn the tile over. And I'm just going to take a pen and we're going to write, today's date is the 1st of December. 2024, and I'm just going to write my name on there, so Pauline, and then I'm going to, because just so I know, I'm going to just put that this was the session for today, and then I'm going to tell you each of the tangles that we've done today, we will write them on the back. So I will, the little leaf shape, this leaf that we did here, that's called braze, B-R-A-Z-E. And then the little orbs are called jetties, Jetties. And then our little flower is Betona. I will leave this at the end so you can, Betona. And then we had poke root. And then this leaf-like shape is vertigo, Verdigoh. And we had Bronx cheer, which is the little berries. Excuse me. And we had fescue. I'll have to put that over this side. Fescue, which is the little foliagey, like the little aerials. They're like little aerials, aren't they? And then orbs. And this is this pattern here is actually taken from another pattern. So we'd call it, it's a fragment. So I'm going to just call it circus, and we just say fragment because it's a part of another tangle. So the petals that we used were part of another tangle. So we just call it circus fragment.
Which one is vertigo?
The little leafy shape one, the kind of branches that we've added.
And which one's jetties?
Jetties is the balls, the little balls. So if I just say the Bronx cheer is the little blackberry style, then we've got vertigo, then we've got poke root, then we've got Betona, then we've got jetties, then we've got braze, and then the petals are taken from a pattern called circus, but because we've only used a little bit of it, we've just say it's a fragment of circus. And obviously everything else is just a circle or a line.
So what's
So
the orbs?
Orbs is just any circle that we've drawn.
Okay.
It's just that I try not to say circle, because if you say circle, people think that they have to make a perfect shape. Whereas if you say it's an orb, people maybe don't get so tied into having to make a perfect round. So I try to say orbs. I know I say circle sometimes, but I do try and say orbs because people don't maybe associate it with having to make a perfect circle if you say an orb. So jetty starts as an orb. And then obviously we've done this lovely pearl orb. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go around each person and I'm going to spotlight you. So I'm going to remove my spot. Has everybody got all the names down? Actually, sorry, has everybody got all the names? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and individually spotlight you so that you can show your tile, and we'll start just from the top. So if you all want to unmute, so I'll just ask all to unmute, and then we'll start with Sharon. Oh, Sharon, can you spotlight yourself, Sharon? Because I can't spotlight you for some reason.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Oh, that's stunning.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely
very pleased with
beautiful.
that, actually.
Yeah, your vertigo as well. You've got real depth in that. That's really beautiful.
Thank
And the leaves coming down from your flower, the braze pattern. I love how you've got, it looks like some's going in and some's going outwards with your shading. That's stunning.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. Lovely. Thank you. That's really lovely.
Okay. Do you want me to spotlight other people?
Well, it's funny because I could remove your spotlight, but
Oh, okay.
have I still got host privileges?
You should have, yeah.
Oh, okay. I can spotlight Sarah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Hmm.
I don't know how. Oh,
Oh, that is
lovely.
beautiful. Your flower is absolutely stunning, and your little flowers, the Batona flowers, are beautiful. The shape you've got on those
Really
is
lovely.
absolutely stunning. Absolutely beautiful.
I
Lovely.
found it really challenging because I haven't got very good fine motor skills and I've got a tremor. So
You've done very
Well,
well.
you've
That's
done
good.
amazing, absolutely amazing. If you had those to deal with, that is amazing.
thank you.
Heidi.
I've enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
Here's Heidi.
Oh, Heidi, that's beautiful.
Good.
I love how you've done the shape of the little Bronx cheer blackberries on the end with all the little fescues off them.
Yeah.
That is stunning. It's beautiful how it just flows around from the huge focal point and then just tapers. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous. That lovely. Honor. Oh, lovely. Oh, I love the style of how you've done it on your tile as well. See, I love how you get the balance of white space as well. It's beautiful. Lovely. Oh, wow. Your little flower looks really daisy-like how you've done your petals. That's stunning.
Yeah.
Really beautiful. It's nearly like a brooch whenever you look at it. It's the way it's sitting out. It looks like it looks like a brooch. It's so pretty.
Gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you.
Thank you. I really enjoyed
Jean. Oh, thank you. Jean. Oh, wow. Will you turn it so that the flower's at the bottom for a second? Because just looking at the shape of it, it's beautiful. I just get that. Hold it a little bit further up. I love the symmetry you've got on your flower, all your petals. Beautiful. Absolutely. Oh, wow. That's
you.
lovely. And I love how you've added texture as well. Beside the flower, you've got beautiful texture there going on to complete the wreath shape. There's lovely texture in that.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Rosina?
No, my flowers isn't like anybody else's, okay?
Well, that's good. They're not doing it like it's your, oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
Nice. Yeah.
Look,
Now
you've
the
got
art-
real, it looks like diamonds. It's like faceted the way you've done yours. That really is like a brooch. Wow. I love how you've got that faceted on your petals. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow, that's lovely.
I wasn't happy because I didn't do it like yours.
No, you didn't. No, you see, that's what I said. Everybody will bring a flair, and that is your personal flair.
Yes.
None of these look the same. And
No.
I just think it's beautiful how you've done that. The leaves, they've got like the little lip on the end. They look actually faceted. It's like they're curling. It's beautiful.
Thank you very
Absolutely
much.
stunning. Yeah, it's lovely.
I enjoyed
Really
doing
lovely.
that. It was great fun. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you.
First time I've done anything like that. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So Rowena, is it? Let's have a look.
I've done mine on the whole with all the
Oh,
instructions.
that's lovely.
Very good.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. And oh, I love how you framed it as well in the same style. That's beautiful. Oh, it's really, you've got really low, it's just beautiful how it's the amount that you filled your tile. You've left the white space as well. And I love your little blackberry Bronx cheer and your petals on your flower. Look how symmetrical you've got. That is
Yeah.
absolutely stunning.
I want to know how people do
Cool.
that. So
I know. I want to know how people do that. That is lovely. Just real perfection on the flower petals. Beautiful. Absolutely lovely. I know. I love how they're all different. We'll have to get at the end, everybody just hold them up and see if we can get a picture, do a screen print of them
Yeah.
all because it's lovely. So who have I not done? Frida, is it? I haven't done.
Oh,
For
Catherine.
Catherine, is it?
Frida.
That's Spotlight.
I'm not really sure. I started off.
Oh my goodness, you've got a
Oh.
beautiful piece of art there. Look
Wow.
at that. Wow, that's stunning. Absolutely beautiful. Goodness, you could frame that. It's absolutely beautiful. Lovely.
you've gone big then, have you?
Yeah,
What
I
size
know.
is that?
It's
What size is
lovely.
that?
It was
that
a
A4?
no. It was
A5.
I folded in half, but
Oh,
I
it's
started
beautiful.
off. I think I started off doing it too small.
Oh, it's lovely.
Anyway,
Absolutely beautiful. I love how you've got a real flow on your petals on your big flower. You've got a lovely flow on those, how they're just shaped. It's beautiful. Stunning. Thank you so much. It's lovely. Have I missed anybody?
I think Catherine.
Oh, somebody, Catherine at the bottom. Yes, I've just seen.
Wow, Catherine.
Oh, wow, Catherine, that's
Oh,
beautiful. I love
great.
your shade and look at how your gemstone just pops off the page. Wow,
Gorgeous.
that is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I love how you've got all the little berries just along the top as well. That's so pretty. Wow, beautiful. And added some little flowers and the fluxy style as well. That's lovely. Love that.
Well
See, as I
done.
say, everybody has added their own little flower, their own little flower, which is just amazing. So yeah, I think if you can hold all them up onto the screen, if you hold them all up, to the camera, like really close, we can do a little screen print. Let's just have a look. Well, hopefully she says we can do a screen print screen. I'm hoping that'll do it. Otherwise, I'll just grab my phone quickly and see if I can get a picture of them all. Yep, I can. Perfect. Thank you. Absolutely stunning. Lovely. Thank you. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. That
We
was
loved it. Thank you.
great fun.
I really enjoyed it, and thank you so much for doing it, Pauline. It made such a lovely change, actually.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I didn't realise how what fantastic results that we would get. I honestly didn't.
I know, aren't they amazing? Aren't they absolutely amazing? Everybody's looks so different as well. I
Yeah.
love that. Let's just get me back onto the screen here. Where am I?
Was Kim gone?
Kim had to go, yeah, because he was out somewhere. Claire and Diane had to go as well.
Heidi?
Heidi's
Heidi's still here.
yeah.
Did we see her work? You did. It's here.
Yeah, we did. It's lovely.
Yeah, really pretty.
If
I know
wanted to
they're
put-
all. Sorry, Rosina.
If I wanted to put some colour on that anywhere, how would I do that? Just as it watercolour pencils or
Yeah, you
felt
could
tip?
use pencils, even just gel pens. You can add color just with coloring pencils. Because you've added your shade now as well. If you just you could just lightly go over with pencil. Yeah, there's absolutely
I might do another one in a
and
minute.
color it.
And then try and do something with my colour gel pens then. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I do have on my because I have a YouTube channel and there is other